Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some very interesting news right now where it seems like Xbox is under some pretty big heavy fire. Now, as you guys do or do not know, there's been a lot of controversy, especially in some of the bigger games out there for Xbox, such as, say, Starfield, and right now people are, well, in all honesty, kind of going on that big hate mob. Now, does this mean like it's not true? Does it mean that it is true? Does it mean that it's not at least somewhat valid criticism? We're going to talk about that all throughout this video. But right now, it does kind of seem like a lot of folks are kind of, well, waiting for the next upcoming big Xbox games to kind of make or break the system. And as well, a lot of folks are kind of on the overall negative side when it comes to huge Xbox games, such as Starfield. So we're going to go talk about this, talk about everything else all throughout the video. So make sure you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy. We have a few more days left on the PlayStation 5 Slim or a $5 giveaway as well. You can buy an Xbox if you guys would like. We have the Twitter and Twitch link down below if you guys would like to go and follow. And of course, as well, I appreciate you all so much for watching. Let's go and dive on into the video itself. So as of per recently, there's been kind of a lot of big, I guess, almost negative overall conceptions when it comes to Xbox. Where we're now looking over here in places like GameRant, which is a somewhat out there, bigger game media conglomerate, saying, how do you even cancel your Xbox Game Pass subscription? Why is it cancel Xbox Game Pass subscription? If you've ever been using it for a while, here's a step-by-step guide to help you out. Where they also go and have Game Pass sitting around right here, and an actual proper guide on how to cancel Game Pass. But as well, we're also seeing a lot of other folks too, with people kind of making big criticisms, where they're saying like, hey, are you even happy with the Xbox's first-party lineup over here from 2023? Did you like it? Did you hate it and everything else? And right now, there's been a pretty big media push against Xbox for, maybe rightfully so reasons, and maybe rightfully not so reasons, depending on that one too. And a lot of folks are kind of saying that there wasn't really that many games that came out throughout the entire year. Now, it's intriguing because both PlayStation and Xbox, especially as the holiday season's coming in right now, have been under very big scrutiny and very big fire. A lot of folks are saying there's not enough games on Game Pass. A lot of folks are saying that their big AAA games that were meant to be good, such as Starfield, like these big holiday releases, just haven't done well. And it kind of seems like right now, one of the bigger things to kind of highlight over here is that on Steam itself, right now, Xbox is, well, not doing so well. Now, granted, there's always going to be a little bit more of a bias when it comes to people playing on Xbox or Xbox Game Pass, and typically, in my mind, I usually recommend folks just going and playing the game on Xbox or Xbox Game Pass because you can save the extra money. But when it comes to Starfield, the biggest game, right now there's been a big recent tick where the game has now been turned to mostly negative. Now, this is ridiculous. First and foremost, I'm on the torn. I do not think Starfield was that much of a good game. I think I'd give it like a 7, 8 after I've played it quite a few hours. My initial impression was a little bit higher. As I played the game a little bit longer, I didn't like it as much. But as I went through the game, like, I would say like a 7 to 8. And I think even when I did like a review video, it kind of depended on your vibe. Like if you're used to old school Fallout, Skyrim games, I scored a little bit higher. If you're more of just a general person who's used to playing like a Spider-Man or general game, I put a little bit on the lower end. So like just kind of depending on your taste. And I think that's how it is for a lot of games. Some people like FPS games or VR games more than some folks may like single player games. Some people may like more chill games like an Animal Crossing or like a farming sim versus like, let's say, like a really hardcore game like say Starfield or Alan Wake. It's all about preference. But right now it seems like this is a big worry. Xbox and almost all of their really big end games have had really negative receptions. Now, I'm not saying Starfield is a bad game. I'm kind of even surprised that Starfield's still even such a big topic point right now, because it did come out a few months ago. You think like bygones be bygones, you like the game or you don't like the game, whatever it might be. But as of most recently, there's always been mixed reviews in the game. You can see 65% of these reviews are positive, which even with the all reviews, I would probably put that on a somewhat negative side. A 65% for me is basically a D- when I was in school and almost an F. A 65 is not really a game I want to go and spend $49 on at the end of the day, even on sale. Now, once again, though, Game Pass, and I would actually recommend this game for Game Pass. I'm not a hater for Starfield, but I'd probably go and say this with some mods for future updates. I think it'll be cool. But as of right this second, it is now turned mostly negative. Mostly negative, 31% out of 100%. That is very low in the last 30 days, and it has now made the game being really rough. Now, some folks over here too is like a nice, like these are like my friends even sitting over here, saying I could give this some minor nitpicks, but honestly, I'm having a blast. Some people with a nice normal mindset play the game a lot, it's good to go. And then some people also will as well over here too, about this over here saying, there is nothing about Starfield that justifies the full price, lackluster visuals, poor performance, and uninspiring writing makes this a mediocre game even by Bethesda standards. It's also kind of funny enough too as well. But as of for these past 30 days, the reviews have been getting even worse. Open Starfields immediately get the Alt F4. Why the negative review? It's just a big cup of mediocrity, like ocracy. This game should have never been released for PC because it's not even optimized for PC too as well. The recommended GPU is an RTX 2080. I have a 3080 and I have been receiving stutters and cutting audio non-stop. And it just kind of seems like everyone is just saying it's rough. Like even recently, wait until it gets better. I'd rather play Fallout 76. I'm not joking. And now some folks are still giving it big positives and all this, but it kind of goes and affects the overarching vibe, where it seems like games are not good. Like, this is rough. Like, for me, like, this seems like the game is getting more and more negative and people have had a chance to do a deeper dive. And now, this is a big game. Like, there is cool stuff that's still being found in Starfield. But a lot of folks are just kind of curious of, like, hey, like, if you already had Fallout 76 being mediocre, well, what's going to happen with Starfield? And what's going to happen with Starfield 10 years down the road? Because they wanted to go and support this game for a very, very long time. They wanted this game to be the next 10 years of Bethesda, kind of how they're trying to go make Fallout 76 a very long-term game. Now, Fallout 76 definitely did go get better over time, but a game like Starfield, it's not a multiplayer game. It's a single-player game, and while you may be able to go fix up bugs or glitches or have a cool DLC, maybe to a little bit more for the game, a lot of the big fundamental issues with things like the loading screen, the lackluster in terms of finding the artifacts, where it's the same weird mechanic for like 13 different times, or having a chance to go and be like the writing was really, really lazy. And a lot of folks are kind of calling Xbox out because they kind of allowed this over here. Like even going through these kind of articles and everyone kind of being upset with Xbox for just, maybe that's just the media for the week. We had those big PlayStation leaks, so now they're going back over to Xbox. I'm not really sure, but a lot of folks are just not really happy with it. Now, some folks did enjoy games like, say, Hi-Fi Rush. I thought that game was awesome. Or games like, say, Starfield and Forza. Those games were cool. But for me, Forza was a fun niche game I played for a little bit, moved off it. Starfield was fun. I put, like, tens of hours into the game. I thought it was fun. But at the same exact time, like, something like Minecraft Legends, horrible game. It wasn't that good at all. And a lot of folks just kind of seem like they're like just sad on where Xbox might go and be. Now, some folks are also saying too that some of the basically the justification is not worth it, saying there's absolutely no way that people are upset from Starfield because of the loading screens. So also saying like Baldur's Gate had a lot of loading screens too. But at the same exact time, I think people are just more long-term worried about Xbox because you have Starfield that was hyped up for years, and this is going to be this huge game that everyone's going to love. And right now, it's on the mostly negative side as more and more people keep on playing it, or maybe checking out for the holidays, or maybe some people kind of just get used to the game being like, yeah, it's not really the best game we were all expecting. Because I did actually see quite a bit of copium when it came to Starfield when it first came out. Now, I still enjoyed the game. If you guys like the game, go play it. There's going to be cool mods in the game in the future, go enjoy them. But at the same exact time, sometimes seeing this is a weird situation. A weird scenario because Xbox needs that win. And now we are still seeing cool games like Hellblade. Like that game does look dope. Like graphically looks good. The first one was good. I have very high hopes for the game itself. But what if that game for some odd reason flops? Now, I don't think so. Like I don't like to go into these negative mindsets when it comes to games and gaming as a whole. But it does make sense that there is going to be a little bit of a problem for these games. Because if you have your biggest game out here that's meant to be making a lot of money for your studio, and obviously still driving Game Pass sales, when it's on the mostly negative, people see this. Like millions of people are probably going to see this. Like millions of people have talked about Starfield and played the game too as well, and it's overall been a somewhat negative conception. Now, I always try to go be very on the middle, like being like, hey, there was cool things about the game and I enjoyed it, but it seems like people are even less excited about the upcoming future Xbox games, how bad Halo Infinite was, how bad Starfield was in their minds, and how kind of lackluster some things like Forza really were too as well at the end of the day. Now, some folks are kind of trying to make some of these comments too as well. Kind of just having the big discussions too, and like it's just kind of ridiculous to go and see. And some people are saying they're only getting hated because it's an Xbox game too as well. Some people are saying the game is just mid AF and that's why, and they have to go and make sure that on Xbox it seems kind of good too as well. Some people are saying over here, look at this, like dogpiling or having pronouns or girl bosses or whatever, but the game itself is good. It got tore up because the game was poorly optimized for PC, which is also a big deal. Things like Skyrim always had a really big PC player base because of things like mods. And it's crazy because just it's always back and forth. Like, a lot of folks are saying it might be their best game, might be their worst game, might be saying whatever. And at the same exact time, some people even say they might even just be upset because it's not on PlayStation 2 as well. Well, they'll go to different platforms just to get a negative review. Now, I don't think necessarily people are buying the game just to give it a negative review. And I do think the game has a lot of proper critiques that should have been noted. But I think also maybe Xbox right now for this past week has been underneath a lot of scrutiny and fire for pretty much no real reason. And I don't think Xbox is that bad. And I still have a little bit of faith for long-term Xbox. And of course, they still have their Activision acquisition, so there is merits too for Game Pass and Xbox. But I kind of want to hear your thoughts because this is some crazy stuff to see at the end of the day, and I appreciate y'all so much for watching. Make sure you guys are subscribed, the notifications on. We have our PS5 Slim or our $500 giveaway. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below too as well, and I appreciate y'all so much for watching here in the first place. Give me your thoughts and comments down below.